All right. Welcome back to the Double Level Show. My name's Ryan.
And I'm Kyle.
And I hope you guys watched our first episode and enjoyed it. We've been working hard to try to put our 3 episodes out this week.
Lots of grinding indeed. We've got another guest for you guys today. We're going to be doing it over Zoom as they're from Calgary and we're from Edmonton. So it's a little bit of a drive between those two places. So Zoom call is the easiest way to do it. We're excited to hear what they're all about.
A little bit of a different format, but it actually is going to turn out well. So we tested it and everything, so it should be good to go. And yeah, without further ado, should we just hop into things?
Yeah, we're going to just hop into these first 3, just hopping right into them, get it done. So,
all right, well, nice. So now I'll introduce our guest here. So she is a SAIT business finance student. She does day trading by the day. She runs a bakery business by the night. She's from Calgary, Alberta. Welcome, Shelby Banera.
How's it going, Shelby?
Hi, guys. I'm doing really well. How are you?
We're pretty good.
Doing great. Just living life with our moose heads right now, so life is good.
Got my sparkling water beverage over here, so.
Nice. Definitely probably the smart choice, but we're not so.
Awesome. No, I'll probably make an old-fashioned later, nice. Definitely.
I know, you gotta be day trade, you gotta be productive during the day, right? Yeah. You can't let that
exactly, yeah.
crush a cold one when the day's over, right? Yeah. When the work day's over.
Yep.
So just tell us a little bit about yourself. So you're from Calgary. I know you're in school right now. You have a couple side businesses on the side there. Just let us know what you're
Yeah, so I am a SAIT business finance student. I'm in my 4th year final semester, and I am working towards my designation, certified financial planner. And so I'm about 2 courses away from doing that. And I also run a couple of businesses. So I do day trading on my own, and I do also a little bit of swing trading and then long-term investing also. And I tutor those who wish to learn how to trade in the stock market. And I teach them about technical analysis and fundamental analysis as well. And then I also run a bakery, and it's called Shelby's Bakery and Kitchen. And I do catering, and I do custom wedding cakes, birthday cakes, cookies for whatever occasion as well. So yeah, got lots on the go, but just constantly loving the grind always. So super fun.
Always good to stay busy during these times too, because I do know
exactly.
hence why we started our podcast and stuff. It's just a lot of sitting around if you don't have a little side hustles going. So good on you for that one, because I do know that I got a few myself like that, and it just really helps with me feeling like a good reason for me to get out of bed in the morning instead of laying there for an extra hour. So definitely get that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially the day trading, because lots I'm not a professional at it by any means myself, but lots of it's done in the morning, isn't it? Or a different.
It is, yeah. So yeah, market opens. I believe pre-market opens at 6:30 or 7, and then the actual market opens at 7:30. So pretty much I just wake up and I'm just starting my day. And at those hours in the morning, it's pretty crazy because I actually have a mentor that I have been learning from for the past year or so. So yeah, we trade live every morning, and his team as well. And then for half an hour, we're all trading live, and then we're on our own kind of. So yeah, lots of craziness going on because you're listening to him, and then you're looking at charts and stuff. And you're also kind of in the Discord and as well, and keeping up with the news. So it's a lot, but I mean, when you're listening, you're reading, and you're watching, it's kind of you're using different areas of your brain, so it's not as overwhelming as some people might think it is. As long as you just know what you're doing and stuff, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel you also have that morning almost adrenaline kick in probably too, where you can handle
it is, yeah.
Some people
it's so funny because I don't even drink coffee.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Just waking up and just starting work is enough for me, because it's just so much craziness. Especially when it's a really crazy day and the Nasdaq's up 10% or something that. It's pretty crazy, and then everybody's wide awake and going crazy in the Discord. So
yeah, no.
So So is this like a thing you do every day, like every weekday that you have an opportunity to? You're always up at
Yeah.
whatever 6:30 doing
Yeah.
research and.
Yeah, like it depends. So I do both like day trading and swing trading. So if it's a super volatile day, I'll definitely be day trading up until at least 1 because that's when my first class starts. So I kind of like make it so that I end at that time. But if it's more of like a calm, like, you know, more chill week, I guess, I'll look at opportunities for swing trading and uh, buying, just like buying opportunities and stuff just that come up on my alerts. So yeah, I'll always be like buying and selling, like, gosh, maybe like anywhere from like 5 to 8 times a day, like just buying and selling. So
Yeah, and like
yeah, it's a lot of just watching the charts and stuff. But
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
Excitement. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say, yeah, like, so like, the other thing too is like, because obviously like you're saying like day trading and swing trading, right? Like the because lots of people, when like, I'm guessing for most people, probably lots of viewers, like when you're thinking of investment, a lot of people do like more of a long term thing, so they're more like comfortable and know what that is. Like for lots of people who don't know, because like what's the difference between those two, or what is different from them from long term like trading as well? Because like obviously that might provide some insight to them.
For sure. Yeah. No, this is definitely like my area of knowledge. So I definitely can answer that. So there is passive investing and then there's active investing. So passive investing is more buy and hold, and it's based more on the fundamental aspects of trading. So you're looking at a company's balance sheet, you're looking at their income statement, you're looking at their financials, and you know you're looking a little bit at their charting, but you're mainly like just reading their annual reports, and then that gives you a good indication if it's a good company to buy for a long term, meaning anywhere from between like 5 and 10 or even 20 years if you wanted. Short term, which is more of what I do, is active investing. So you're buying and selling rather than buying and holding, and you're also using technical analysis with the company. So you're looking at different indicators such as moving average, relative strength index, support and resistance patterns. It's actually funny because I have a flag literally right behind me.
Yeah, I know, it's like perfect.
Like the indicators and stuff. Yeah. So you're using, just a lot of the indicators to indicate when is a good time to buy and when is a good time to sell. And then it's all about, also, it's not even just looking at all of that, but there's different opportunities that offer different return potential. So if you see something that offers a 20% return, but it's also a very risky investment, you might just want to invest 3% of your portfolio rather than, maybe 10% if you see like, a less risky trade. Yeah, so sure. Technical analysis, it's definitely, I use both because I long-term trade as well, but I mainly do swing trading and day trading. And with those two, you use technical analysis. So yeah, there's definitely, people say like day trading is gambling, and I'm like, yes, it's gambling if you don't know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing and you do your research and you put the effort in, nothing's for nothing. You're gonna have to put some effort in. You're gonna have to, keep on top of things, and then you can make a pretty decent return.
Yeah, that actually kind of touches a question that I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, for sure.
With day trading, a lot of people have like a negative look at it and, say, yeah, it's gambling and stuff. What was your parents' opinion on it when you first kind of told them like, yeah, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna, put money into the stock market and day trade?
Yeah, and like with that also said, like obviously, because like a lot of people, like their parents would probably not be okay with it. Yeah, but like, are your parents like in the like the same like business, like the same business?
Oh, they're the most supportive. Like I could have not asked for like better family, better parents, like anything, because my dad, my parents actually got divorced like a couple of years ago, so I live with my dad. And so he's been so supportive and, letting me build my office and stuff. And I actually like, it's funny because he's the most supportive because I literally tell him what to buy.
Yeah,
like with stocks.
Like free advice, like pretty much being his financial advisor for like no cost of it.
It's so funny because like, I pretty much am like, when Beyond Meat was trading at $70 a share, I think like maybe a year ago. My dad's actually a food broker for one of the companies is Beyond Meat. So we love the company, we love the products. Super great CEO. Like Ethan Brown is one of the best CEOs. I've watched his interviews. I've done a ton of research on that company. And I was like, Dad, we have to buy Beyond Meat. $70 a share. I'm not kidding. It's going to go to 130. We're going to like make some money. And he's like, okay. So we bought it $70 a share. And then it went, I believe, to 100. And then that's when the stock market crash happened with COVID, right? So it went down to, I guess, like it was a little bit lower than 70. And like my dad, he's a very conservative investor. Like he's definitely not as risky as like me or maybe like my sister would be, but he definitely has, you know, that psychology thing where like, he's just like, oh gosh, like I should just cut losses. I should just sell it. I don't want it to go down any further. And I'm like, Dad, you know, you just need to trust me. Like just hold it. And it's going to go to 130. Once it goes to 130, you're going to make some money and sell it. So
yeah, just don't panic.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Everyone panics. Like
exactly.
That's how it is. That's pretty funny though. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Like, cause obviously like him being supportive is great. And then on top of it, it's just like, it's a win-win too. Cause like, yeah, you get to kind of like do this without having any hassles of like a backlash from parents. And then on top of it, he's probably making a buck or two from
exactly. Yeah. Like he's going to give me some more money at the end of the month and I'm going to be like managing one of his accounts for him. So, you know, I'm like, Dad, I got your retirement fund. I got it covered. Like,
put all that money into GameStop stocks that everyone's talking about. That is the straight up being like, yeah, we're gonna do the what is it? Yeah, exactly. The whole big thing. Like, I guess it's technically like old news now. It's like, it's not like
it
old,
literally
but
is.
like, it's kind of like in the whole terms of like stocks and stuff, like everyone's already like covered it, but like,
yeah. So you did your fair share of research into that, eh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I know a bunch about it and what's happening. Like, I'm absolutely disgusted by the hedge fund managers and the government and just the whole thing with them taking their side and stuff. Just to do a little bit of background, those who don't know what is happening, I mean, it might sound like a broken record to you, or it might just be something new that like you haven't heard yet. But pretty much what happened was there were these major hedge funds that decided to short a couple of stocks, one being GME, the other being AMC, and I believe BlackBerry was another one.
And for those that don't know, shorting a stock is when you like pretty much gamble that it's going to go down.
Like bet against it.
Yeah.
Bet against it.
So you buy
You're betting against
$70 and you hope that it goes down, and how much it goes down you make.
And isn't it something like you borrow that stock too? I think it is essentially like, and then
you're buying it on margin.
Cheaper price. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you're buying it on margin, you're betting against it. So you're pretty much making money on the stock price going down. So that's what all the hedge funds are doing on Wall Street. They decided, okay, let's just put a bunch of money in, like, and short these stocks. I guess somebody who was an insider of one of those hedge funds went on to Wall Street Bets. And I think that might be a conspiracy. I'm not sure if they were insider or not. Like the news is still like all up in the air and it's kind of hard to know like what to believe and what not. But somebody on Wall Street Bets, which is pretty much just a community, like a pretty large army of technical traders and just, you know, those who trade like very risky stocks and stuff, penny stocks, whatnot, crypto. And they all came together and they're like, let's pump this stock. Let's all buy it. And it'll go up a certain percentage. We'll all make some money. Those hedge fund managers are gonna get, you know, they're gonna like definitely regret what they're doing.
They're gonna get fucked.
So yeah, yeah, pretty much.
In the simplest words possible.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, so they did. They all bought it, including myself. I bought like a very small position because I'm not one to like risk a bunch of money on a very risky play like that. So yeah, we all bought it. Then there you go. It's up like literally GameStop was up $400, I believe, in one day. And so what were the hedge funds doing? They were like pretty much crapping their pants, like with the whole situation and whole scenario going on. They're like, oh my gosh, we are losing so much money. And for those of you who don't know, like short selling also, when you choose to bet against a stock, the losses are literally infinite. So you can go bankrupt and just from making a bad decision on shorting a stock. So that's almost what happened. The hedge funds, like they're crying, you know, they're like, I don't know why we did this. I don't know why Wall Street Bets decided to hype this stock so much that to make it go up 400%. Like that is just beyond us. But anyways, pretty much the government decided to save the hedge funds. And then an app called Robinhood, which is a brokerage, I think in the US. I don't believe you can get it here because I'm in Canada. And so pretty much, yeah, they were saying that you're only allowed to sell and you're not allowed to buy any more of GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry. So it pretty much placed restrictions on these stocks, which is totally unfair. And that's not even the worst part. Like this whole thing is just such a gong show. It just makes me so angry talking about it sometimes because I'm like, this is so unfair. But pretty much also they decided to sell some of the stocks that these Robinhood traders were holding without their consent. So they decided one day that these stocks are too risky for all these traders, not even thinking that they don't know their own risk and they don't know what they're getting themselves into. Obviously, when we're picking a stock, we're making a right decision. And some people, they might not be, but that's not Robinhood's decision to decide. Like
that's
not
the person who's like buying it themselves. Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't be like,
yeah, that it's definitely not in their place to do that. So Wall Street Bets community, they were all getting super upset, and then they decided to take down not only their Reddit but their Discord. So they could not communicate with other traders that were going through the same thing. They could not tell each other to hold and like, let's just get through this and then we'll make a bunch of money after. No, they pretty much like they weren't allowed to sell. The stock price just went down a bunch. So they were losing a bunch of money. They were getting scared. They were selling at a loss. And this was all due to literally like just the government, Robinhood, hedge funds placing restrictions on trades, which is totally illegal. And actually like they are not allowed to do that. So yeah, like hedge funds such as like Melvin Capital, like people were just hating on them and stuff. And now it's just people know how corrupt they are. But unfortunately, some people just sold at a loss. And, you know, our plan was to all hold it and get through this until their shorts or put options, I guess, expired, which is on Monday. And then they thought that the stock would go up again, but it actually just ended up doing the complete opposite and going down. So yeah, unfortunately, we live in a world where the government can be corrupt sometimes and do illegal things, but there's a whole bunch of lawsuits and just things that are going on that, you know, people are trying to, you know, get justice from what's happening. So I'm in full support of that. And I actually still own the AMC shares that I did buy because I'm not even holding it because I believe it's going to go back up. I'm holding it for like the sole principle that like I don't want like these hedge funds to win because they already kind of have.
Yeah.
So I'm like with a small investment that I put in, like it's 3% of my portfolio. It's nothing. It's like, you know, just money to play with, you know. So it didn't really affect me, but for those who lost 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, like it really sucks. So yeah, but
the thing that gets me
just a little nutshell.
Yeah, the thing that gets
what happened.
How all these hedge fund, you know, owners and managers have been doing this forever. Like market manipulation has been a thing since the stock market started, right? So they'll put shorts on these stocks and then nobody will know about them. And then they'll pretty much like shit on the stock and, you know, say, oh, it's going to go down. It's going to go down.
Give
and
it a bad rep, essentially.
And then that's how they make money, right? But now literally the coin flipped and all these Redditors manipulated the market essentially. And,
exactly.
And instead of the people that have no money took a loss for it, the billionaires took a loss. And now I even read an article that they want to make rules against that. even though they've been playing that game for the last 50 years.
Yeah,
right?
which
So,
is just ridiculous.
Exactly. You know, that's the thing that I don't understand. And also, it's crazy that like we have built up such a strong community of traders that we're all sticking together and we're trying to like get through this like as much as we can and supporting each other and helping each other out. And you know, like Wall Street Bets, like I follow them on Instagram, and I'm not exactly sure who runs the page. I feel like it's several individuals, but they were just saying like, you guys, they're literally like, they posted on their Instagram, I believe it was last night, and they were saying, I'm like very disappointed with our community. I'm very upset that a lot of you guys have like sold AMC, and people are still asking me, what do we do? Do we buy AMC? Do we sell AMC, GameStop, whatever it is? Like, and they're like, you do, like, you make your own decision. I'm not telling you guys what to do anymore. You guys should know to hold it, just get through all this. And, you know, people will just get stuck up in their emotions. And investing is definitely a psychology game. Not everybody has the risk tolerance to invest in the stock market. Obviously, like I'm a female in finance, and they say that females generally have a lower risk tolerance than males. And that is absolutely true. Like I totally understand that because we are more emotional than men. But men sometimes can be very like overconfident and irrational when making trading decisions. So, you know, it can go both ways. But if you know how to, I guess, manage those emotions to be in your favor and where it's actually benefiting you and making you money, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, and I also
can you guys still hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you for sure. I was actually going to add to one of your points there, even like with the whole idea, like that's the other cool thing about like having you on as well, is like lots of investment like investors you hear about are more like on the like male, right? But the thing that's like funny is I think that also corresponds, like because I'm in business as well, and it's just funny because all these guys will talk about like how, oh, I'm in these stocks or I'm a trader or all that, right? And like there might, like for all I know, there might be an equal amount of males to females doing it. Like I'm not saying that's the case or isn't the case, but it's just kind of funny because like I think guys definitely like are more vocal and more like cocky almost in a sense about it, right? So it's definitely cool to see that. I feel like it's I notice it at least all the time, like when I'm
absolutely. And I mean it's funny because like I think there's like 2 or 3 females in my finance class, and like it's just funny because even last semester I think there was like 25 and there was like 2 females and like the rest were male, so that it's not really like a topic that interests many females either. It's funny because not only that, but my Learn Plan Profit group, which is what my mentor runs, it's the majority males. And my mentor was saying, I was talking to him the other day, and he's like, you know what the difference is between men and women are? Women are a lot more accountable for their losses. So like if you're gonna, you know, be overconfident about a stock and be like, oh, it's only gonna go up or like to the moon and stuff, like like, you know, even like sometimes like I'll say that if I'm doing like a risky play, which doesn't really mean nothing to me. It's like, you know, we're accountable for, if we know that we need to cut losses on something, we're gonna do it and we're gonna learn from it and we're not gonna make that mistake again. Men, on the other hand, they get caught up in all the hype and they don't even care about like any technical or fundamentals sometimes. Sometimes they literally just are on the sole fact that it's the hype stock and it's gonna make a quick buck. And it's not always like that. Investing is, it's not an easy career to be successful in, and a lot of people lose a lot of money doing it because they don't know how to manage their risk properly.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of those things too, because I feel like it's kind of funny, like how you say those, like both of those provide like positives and negatives. It's just a matter of like the situation each individual's in, whether they benefit or hinder the result, like the end result, I guess, right? So it's definitely definitely a funny element because it is definitely a thing around like psychology essentially, and also like pressures from just around, you know, like you got pressures like your friends are telling you to do something or whatnot, like it develops
exactly
also definitely really cool.
And then people enter the stock market not really knowing a lot about stocks either, and you know it's very rough place for them to begin because, you know, they only have a small investment. Maybe they start with like $500 or like $1,000, and then they don't know what they're doing. They invest it all in this one risky stock, and then they lose it. And then they're like, okay, I never want to put my money in the stock market ever again.
Yeah.
And then you can play it the other way where like, you know what you're doing. And part of the reason is I think a lot of high schools, I'm not sure where you guys live, at the high schools include a lot of finance education or learning around the stock market.
I learned about the trigonometry circle, I can tell you that one, and that really helped me get to where
exactly. Well, you know, like I think that they should really start incorporating some of like the things that I'm learning in university into like some of the math courses in high school.
100%.
And so what I've been trying to do is like reach out to some of the high school principals, and I'm talking to them. I'm like, I think part of the reason why there is such a high number of student debt in this country is because like people just don't know how to manage their money once they graduate. We don't learn about RRSPs. We don't learn about TFSAs. We don't learn about taxes. We learn nothing about the stock market.
Some people don't even learn how to do their laundry.
Exactly, right?
Like, you're not taught by, like, if your parents don't care and they don't teach you, you're got to figure that stuff out by yourself, right? So
it's funny.
Yeah.
We had this conversation about finances and stuff aren't in school, like literally like what, 2 days ago.
Yeah, we were like in a heated debate, getting like shitting on the school system and everything.
And like what I kind of came up with is like, why do you have to learn about the Renaissance and the Aztec in grade 8? Like half of social
exactly.
Like sure, learn about the governments, learn about Canada's history, do a little bit of history around the world, maybe World War I, World War II. But why do you need to spend 12 years learning about, like, fuck, I don't remember what the Aztec
like history
anymore, you know what I mean?
And like, I mean, why not include some finance history? Like, I think that would be interesting.
Exactly.
If you talk about what happened with the stock market crash, you know, that's educating people at least a little bit about the stock market. And yeah, so I think it's just bizarre how they haven't really taken any initiative to include any of these things. And if they do, it's only in an option. So even if people like aren't interested at all, like you could still incorporate it if you put it in like a math class or something, right? Like you're still forcing them to learn if it's in a math class. You're not forcing them to learn if it's an option that they're allowed to take.
Exactly.
They're probably not going to take, they're probably going to take like foods class over like finance or something, right? Like, I don't think anybody's going to be interested in the finance area. Like they're probably going to do like some gym option or something, right? So if you're forcing kids to learn, it could decrease the amount of student debt because these students, they just get loans. Like I know some of my friends, even they've gotten student loans and then they just completely blow it like off on just like nothing, right? Like they're just getting them. It's not even because like some of them still live at home, and I'm like, you don't even need a student loan. I took my student loans and I invested it in the stock market, and then I literally paid all of them back with the returns that I have made within like the past couple of years of investing. So like you could take it either way. Like if you want to pay all that interest, like not pay it back or whatever, that's totally fine. But like for me, it's like I've already paid it back, so I'm not paying any interest. Like I'm pretty much getting an interest-free loan that I can invest in the stock market, already paid it back, right? So it's all about like how people use their money and how they just look at investing as well.
So yeah, I think the other thing, like kind of going from that, even like the other funny thing, like with the whole idea of the school system, like telling you have to go to school afterwards, all those things, and then and even like the idea of like financial decisions. Like I think there's such like a norm where it's like you go to school to go back to like post-secondary school and you pay to go to that post-secondary. And like another interesting thing we were talking with you about before the show is that like you have other hustles you do. And I think that's another thing that's not taught. Like, you know, like for instance, like kind of referring to your food class thing, like if you like you're saying you have like a bakery and catering company as well. And the cool thing about that is like you're probably making more money from that without without a degree essentially, and it's probably helping pay your passion and for the stock market as well as covering those student loans. And I feel like that's not covered.
Absolutely.
Like even like with that, like because like to transfer kind of to that, like when did you start your company? Like when like was it like right after high school or was it like after like more throughout university or?
it was like early, actually, yeah, early grade 11 to late grade 10 to early grade 11. So I first started my bakery because I learned that I had a passion for baking, and I had a great relationship with my foods teachers. I still talk to them to this day. And they actually would let me teach the class like my baking skills, and teach kids how to like use piping bags and stuff. And I was like, this is so cool. Like I feel like such a boss in this class, even though like I'm a student that goes to this high school. But it's just funny because I also volunteered, I think, a couple years ago, and I taught the kids how to make pierogies and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. And I like doing that kind of stuff. I like doing that kind of stuff because, it teaches people, and even if you're not making money doing something, like it's the experience that counts, right? Like I'm in like the process of writing like an ebook, and this is kind of going to be like my free source that I could give investors like that are willing to learn and stuff. But like it's just something that I'm doing like just in my spare time because I want to help people. And I think one of the issues is like there's a lot of different roads you can take when you're in finance, when you're in the degree. You can be a planner, you can be an investment banker, you could start a hedge fund for all I know, right? You could work on Wall Street if you wanted. But a lot of the people that go into CFP or CFA, which is Certified Financial Analyst versus Planner, you're actually not helping people. You're making the rich richer. You're not helping people that are struggling with their money. You're pretty much working for a big, massive company that all they care about is making money at the end of the day. They don't really care about their clients. And so for me, anyways, is like, I would much rather help somebody who's struggling, and I'm not sure if you can hear my dog.
Yeah.
He's like barking at some Amazon package that I probably ordered. Yeah, but anyways, I would much rather do something where I'm benefiting people, and I'd feel a lot better about it rather than just making somebody richer, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's no fun. There's no fun in that. Like, you want to help people.
I 100% agree with you, but I'm definitely I'm not the best at helping people. I'll definitely say that one for free. But I always admire when other people are good at it, because sometimes like I like to help people, but I don't know, like I also just kind of have.
Well, you're helping people right now if you think about it, because you are starting your own business, which is pretty much entrepreneur. The definition of being an entrepreneur is starting a startup.
Unless Moose had sponsored us real quickly here.
We're still waiting for the sponsorship here.
Well, we're solving a problem, right? Like you're solving people's problems right now because people are listening to this podcast become more educational about something. So you actually are helping people. You might not know it, but since you are like an entrepreneur right now, starting your own podcast, people are listening to this, wanting advice about finance, and pretty much that's the definition of an entrepreneur is starting something that people might not have the resources for, or even like know a lot about. Like, so you're pretty much solving somebody's problem, and that's what you have to think about when you're starting any sort of business. For me, it's like a lot of people don't know how to make cakes, so I'm gonna use my knowledge to make a cake that they can trade money for food. So if you think about it, you guys are both helping people right now.
Okay, I
guess
it's
just how you look at it.
That brings me to my last question here is, if someone is looking to day trade, obviously you don't just throw money into a Quest trade account and go at it. You have to do your research and stuff. What would be the best way for someone to hop into that kind of industry?
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend first probably going to your bank, because everybody is able to access some sort of like representative at their bank. If you're unsure of like where to get started and stuff, go to your bank, ask them how much TFSA contribution room do I have. I recommend for all of my clients anyway, to make sure that they have that they're starting a TFSA rather than just a margin account, because TFSA, it's tax-free savings account. So pretty much all of the gains that you make, like you don't have to be taxed on it. margin account, you're taxed on 50% of the capital gains. And then there's also some other taxes with dividends and interest. But if you have your money in a GIC that's paying you 2.5%, inflation is 2%. So you're not making 2.5%. And you're not even making 0.5% because you have to pay taxes on that GIC. Don't invest in a GIC, and try your hardest not to get into a mutual fund that your bank sets up for you, and try not to start an RSP account too early because you know, the odds are like you're probably going to make a lot more money making your own portfolio and structuring it according to your risk tolerance and what securities you actually value. So say for example, you know, you guys like sparkling water. I'm just gonna use that.
Or
like obsessed with it, right?
Again,
like I am.
when we're on this podcast, maybe Moosehead's the choice, you know.
Or beer. So I think like Corona has like, I think they're public or something. I don't know.
I gotta stop you right there. Let's pretend Moosehead's public. Okay. I don't know if it is or isn't.
Okay.
I use Corona. That's like, might need to bleep that out later, you know, but Moosehead's the go-to.
Yeah. Let's pretend that they're a public company, you know, they're traded on the NASDAQ. So you want to structure your portfolio into things that you value. So you're going to put maybe, let's say it's obviously an equity, right? So you're going to do like 70% equities. So maybe you'll do like 20% of your investment is going to be in that beer company. And then maybe 20% of it can be like an index fund and like investing in TQs. A lot of what I tell people is when you're investing, you want to diversify your portfolio as much as you can. So if you're investing in one stock and say it's green one day, you're making money, and then the next day it's red. Well, a new investor would obviously freak out because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm losing money. I want to sell this right now. Versus if you're investing in like 3 different companies, let's say like Moosehead, if it was public, Fizz Beverage Corporation, and TQs, you're investing in all 3 of those. Fizz goes up by 1%, TQs goes up by 4%, and then Moosehead just goes down by 2%. In the end, you're actually making.
Moosehead's only going to the moon.
It's like,
here I am.
Going up.
I don't
You're hurting
like
me inside right now. You're hurting me inside. This is all I know. See, I wouldn't be good in the stock market because I'd have too much personal connection to certain brands, you know? So.
That's funny. Well, let's say Moosehead's the one that goes up 2% and then Fizz goes down 2%. Let's just say that for your sake. You know, you're going to be green at the end of the day versus just being red from one stock. So if you're diversifying your portfolio, it's a great technique. Just, I guess, a tip to get started. But yeah, there's lots of great tips, and some of them I will cover in my ebook, but I also sell 2 different courses, one being like a fundamental and then the other being a technical. Some people like to buy both, but I also do virtual tutoring sessions right now. So I can set up like a Zoom meeting if anybody else is interested. And yeah, I also do have a TikTok. So I post little tips on there, and with just investing and just what stocks I'm buying that week.
So Shelby, with that, like following that, where can people find you at? Like if they were like to look for you, would it be easiest to go Instagram, like through a website?
Yeah.
Possibly TikTok, you know, so you all know that one's taking off like crazy right now. Like which one?
Yeah.
Which one's, like where can people find you that are listening to this podcast right now?
They can follow my Instagram for sure. It's just Shelby Banera, SHELBY is my first name, and then my last name BANERA. And then also I do have TikTok, and it's Shelby Swings Stocks. So that's the TikTok username. And then I also have a YouTube channel, just my name. I keep it pretty basic, you know, nothing crazy.
That one's linked to your Instagram, I noticed too. So like if people
go
to the Instagram,
everything's linked to my Instagram.
Yeah,
so.
like when we put our promo, we'll tag you in it.
Yeah,
obviously.
Awesome, thank you guys. Love the extra promo, right?
Yeah, perfect. Well, Shelby, thank you very much for your time and stuff. Like, this was definitely really cool to hear this from you.
I learned a lot.
I learned a lot. Yeah. I'm glad that we saw some development from kind of degrading Moosehead to kind of making it a little bit higher up there by the end of this podcast. But yeah, it was definitely
level up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thank you very much for your time, and it's much appreciated.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me, and I'm glad that I got to share my knowledge, which is like being business owner and investor in the stock market. And I hope that this podcast gets like lots of views and stuff, and we'll both all be famous.
No promises on that one. I'll say that.
Rent a huge yacht. It'll be a great time.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys.
Sweet, and thank you everybody that tuned in.
Yeah. Once again, just go look at Shelby's pages, and thanks for watching.
Go show her some love. Come on, like.
Yeah,
videos. The thing is, it's an investment in itself buying one of your courses, because you never know, you could make a lot of money down the road, right? So,
yeah, exactly. Just buy listen to the courses and crush Moosehead while you're at it.
Exactly. Yep. Honestly, yeah. If you're doing stock market research, like it's kind of hard not to. It's kind of bland stuff. So if you want to like crush a Moosehead, or in my case, probably an old fashioned.
Is it okay to be tuned while you're day trading, or should you be sober?
Tuning in, copying my trades.
Yeah, I think
that's illegal. I don't want to pull Robin Hood.
See, all right.
Well, thank you so much. We'll definitely tag you in the end of on the episode thing. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point.
Okay, bye guys.
Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and thank you, Shelby.